Hello, you guys. Welcome to my channel. Jesus Wants You. I'm the Watchman on the Wall, Nikki Pratt. Listen, this video is a little late, but as promised, okay? I want to take this little time out. Tomorrow starts the more even deeper things, the more detailed, serious things. So please, again, I can't say it enough, don't miss it. But I kind of just want to do this video to show you some of the little things that I found that gave me a little revelation. Still dealing with the 114s and in Scripture, and as it was shown in our identity, in your purpose, and why we're here, okay? And why we're seeing these numbers above anything. So, Judges. I'm just going to read these scriptures. We're not going to go there. But I found this in doing just, looking at some things as far as 1:14 on the clock. But as far as some of what 1:14 also mentions, some of you may be separated from your family. You may have lost a lot of family. What I mean by lost a lot of family, like they just falling off like flies. They don't want nothing to do with you. They want to have nothing to do with you. The Lord may put in you a word or something to 144 to correct them or say something to them, and they ain't hearing it. It's because of the what you are and the who is in you that keeps them away. Darkness will not be with light. I woke up the other morning and I heard how did it go? It was yesterday morning. What is oil with water? Or something like that. What is oil with water? Did we know they don't mix well? The oil always comes to the top and separate. So I found a pattern in concerning 1:14. It also means separation. Judges chapter 1 verse 14 it dealt with a fight. Chapter 1 verse from 1 through 14 dealt with a fight, kind of like a war. Warriors. There were tribes and warriors. You just have to read it for yourself. Judges chapter 11 verse 4, I think the name was Jethro. He was a 9th judge. He was a brave warrior. See, there's a pattern here. Ruth chapter 1 verse 14, kissed Orpah, say Oprah, goodbye, separation. She left. Is it raining? I think it's raining here once again, y'all. But there was a separation in there. Okay, Ruth chapter 4 verse 11, wealth and power and the marriage of Ruth and Boaz, which was a blessing. That whole chapter of dealing with Ruth and all that is actually a picture of Christ redeeming the church. So we all know that in this study it's been revealed to us after yesterday, all that caught up business, being raptured, okay, and the number 44 and all that. 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 14 it was mainly speaking about power, and we've been dealing with that and praying in the Spirit. 1 Samuel chapter 11 verse 4, messengers mentioned throughout. So I think like through verse 1 through 4, it dealt with just messengers, and it was mentioned throughout that chapter. 2 Samuel chapter 1:14, God's anointed mentioned, and we are anointed for such a time as this. 2 Samuel 11, chapter 11 verse 4, messengers mentioned again. We will be end-time messengers. We will be witnesses unto him, as he said. 1 Kings chapter 1 verse 14 mentions affirming a king. Jesus is our king. All right, so that's another pattern that I also came across. I also want to show you some. Now, I'm not good at math, but when I got this, I was like, my Lord, my Lord. Let me show it to you. I wish I had a Sharpie, but I couldn't find one. All right, let's see if you can see this. 111 times 4. Well, why times 4, Nikki? Because 4 represents what God is doing in the earth, and the number 4 is one of the prevalent things in 144, one of the prevalent numbers, mind you, that we see. 144, the number 44, 114, 441, you see it frontwards and backwards. Why? He determines the end from the beginning. He's Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. You have 444 here, and then you come down, you have 4884. You add it up, 12, 12, that's the 144, guys, 144. All right, the 114, same way. 114 times 4, 456. So 4, 5, 6, 11, there's your 411. Isn't there something? 114 forward, 411 backwards. Wow. Okay, so now I want you to think back. All of you, think back over your life. Why? Because like me, you probably had a hard life, a hard childhood. You felt different, like an outcast. But you still felt like that you were a part of something or a purpose, but you just didn't know why. You may experience some prophetic insight. You may knew about certain things before they happened. Growing up, just kind of think back over your life. Think about situations and things that has happened that made you come, like all that went on to bring you where you are today. Many of you had certain dreams as a child. I know, like from a young age child, I was having a dream a lot of the world coming to an end all the time. Okay? But even through your life, if you look over your life, we have a pattern of a shield of protection over us. Even in areas where we have been injured or hurt, we still came through. Like you may have been in an abusive marriage, relationship, but God still protected you and brought you out. Okay? You may have also had almost supernatural or supernatural things happen to you, supernatural experiences, things that you couldn't quite understand and don't know why. Let me explain 3. I'm going to give you 3 supernatural type things. One time I was in my bed and my abusive husband at that time was threatening to do me some serious bodily harm. And I was crying and I wanted my sister to call me so bad. And I just kept thinking about her. And I was, just hoping and like praying that she would call me. Y'all, my phone rang, it was my brother-in-law. And he said that my sister was crying and felt that I needed help. What? Okay, there was one incident. The second was when I lived in Dallas, my kids were with me, and I wouldn't let them drive my ex-husband because he drove so crazy. But I had all my girls with me, and I was driving, and this Mitsubishi Eclipse came by like, wow, really fast, almost wiped us off the road, and it made me mad. Don't mess with me and my babies, okay? So I looked at him and I was like, you know what? I was like, see, now he acting like that. He don't know what can happen. I can't even begin to tell you what I said. But it's like I saw him wreck out or something. Y'all, literally, it happened. Bam, bam. His car hit all upside the guardrail on 635, and then he spin out, and then he went on about his business. The car straightened up. He tore his car up a little bit, but he still went on about his business. I was like, mouth wide open. The third thing was, I worked in, many of you probably, you've been a subscriber of mine, you probably heard me tell this story many a times. But this really, really stood out to me in this study. Many of you know that a lot of my background is dermatology. I know skin like the back of my hand. And I worked in this dermatology clinic in Dallas, North Dallas. And I had a patient that I had to do a scratch patch test on her back. And I went ahead and, but I think she had been in before, right? And I was supposed to come in, take the scratch patch test off, and read what she was allergic to, right? So I got ready to touch, I removed it and touched her back. It was just 11:44. Touched her back, y'all. The lady jumped like this and went like across the room, jumped over on the other side of the room, and she looks at me like this. Like, and I'm looking at her like, okay, lady, I don't know what's wrong with you, but either this patch test is getting to you or my hands are very cold. It was just 12:12. So I looked at her and I looked at my hands. I went, oh, I'm so sorry. My hands are so cold. She went, no, that's not it. Oh my God, you have no idea. You have no idea what she said, who you are or what you are. And I'm looking at her like, this lady is crazy. She was like, look, I know you think I'm crazy, but oh my God, you have powers. You have a gift. You have a serious gift that if you're not careful, because you don't know, you haven't tapped into it yet. You have powers. You have a gift. You have a supernatural gift. She said, you have a gift that you haven't tapped into and you don't know how to use it. She said, how I know it? Because I'm a receiver and you're a giver. And y'all, generally I am. I give more than I receive. And she said, but what I'm saying is you have power of healing. I was like, okay, all right. She's like, look, I know you think I'm crazy, but oh my God, when you touched my back, it went all through me. And she said she had a gift too. But apparently, and y'all, I was living like a hellion then. I wasn't nowhere in no church. But she knew all this about me that I didn't even know about myself. And I'm like, really? You know? So it kind of tripped me out. But looking back over that, now watch this, fast forwarding. There was recently, Minister Davis, we had to send out family members' names, who we wanted this particular apostle to pray for. And he was doing something, and he wanted people to send like letters and people that we wanted to see restored or saved or whatever. We had to give all these lists of names. And apparently, when he read my name, he said these words, that he saw virtue coming out of me. Now, y'all know what that is. Virtue. When Jesus had the virtue, he was, of course, full of virtue, and the woman with the issue of blood touched him, but the hem of his garment, and the Lord said he felt virtue come out of him. Tell me if that ain't on point. And Minister Davis, she said, yeah, Nikki, when he picked up your envelope and he read, and she said that's what he saw. Virtue coming out of me. Why would he see that? I'm just saying. Okay, another thing you may have experienced, most importantly, dreams telling you or showing you that you were somewhere with some angels, being trained or sectioned off or being raptured, and not so many people being with you. I done had several dreams about that. Of being with a group of people and angels, and I remember looking out a window and seeing people and cheering them on. Like, I guess like when they got saved or something. I can't quite remember, but I do remember that. And then what else? Having yeah. So I ran across somebody on YouTube that had a similar dream just like mine. And many of you know that I've told this dream before. But I was with a body of believers. And I felt in my spirit that we were sectioned off. There was a group over here, a group over there, a group over, and it was all of us just coming out of our doors at one time. We were just all, piling out. And as we were walking, we were on a mission to do something. But I looked up, and there were angels everywhere, all in white, just angels. And as we were walking doing our mission, looked like I was walking, and there was like street lamps, and it was in the daytime, but the road was like concrete bricks, like if you were in Italy or something. And I'm walking down, and I saw 3 sheriffs, and looked like they wanted to do something to me, but they couldn't. They couldn't touch me. And the angels was in the air. They would, as we walked, they would draw back, and they would go forward with their hands. They would draw back like this, and they would go forward with their hands. They were like, like it was a motion, like they were ushering us in or something. It was crazy. But you also probably had dreams, and I know I have, like that particular dream. Those sheriffs wanted to detain me or something, but when they came up on me, it was like a shield of protection. You probably also had dreams of where things in the dreams wanted to attack you, but couldn't for some reason. And dreams that you had like some supernatural powers, or you praying over people, you're laying hands on people and casting out demons and speaking into their lives, preaching or teaching to a body of people. What else? Let's see. Yeah, but like I said, things in the dream, your dream that would come up on you to attack you, and it just couldn't, because of a shield, because of a barrier, or like a protection. Dreams of you being some type of like a supernatural superhero, you got powers to do that. Dreams of flying. Okay, like one of my very first visions was with I was taken up over mountains. I came up out of a car, and I'm just excelling higher and higher in the air, and then everything looked so real, and it was like things were shown to me in a panoramic view, and I came up over these high mountains, and I'm looking at all the vegetation on the ground, and rocks, and just every crevice of these mountains. And then I saw 2 men stand up on the mountains, And like the mountain was high, but then like kind of dropped down. You could see these two men, and then I heard this voice that said, "That's Moses and Elijah." And then as I'm coming around like this in a panoramic view, and I'm going, "Oh my God," because I was getting closer to them, to Moses and Elijah. But when I went around them, I went through them. And as I'm going through them, I mean, you can see the wind blowing their hair. They had on like this beige, like as old people say, crocus sack type linen, dress looking thing. I don't know how to explain it, and they had like a crimson red sash. But they were standing there, and I heard this voice say Moses and Elijah. But when I went through them, a tremendous bright light just overtook me, like, whoo. And I went through them, and I woke up. And the Lord led me to the mountain of transfiguration. Guess who was at the mountain of transfiguration? Moses and Elijah. Yeah, the two end-time prophets that will be here that Revelation chapter 11 speaks about. So, and from that point on, you guys, that was like one of my very first visions. From that point on, I was dreaming and having dreams and visions. I've been having dreams and visions ever since then. So whatever that anointing was or whatever, it was done that night. I'm going to tell you that right now. So that I wanted to share. Now, let me share this with you. And I'm going to let you go. But be ready for tomorrow. That's all I got to say. I can't stress enough how you need not miss any of these videos. We are going to comb each chapter 7 and chapter 14 of about this 144,000, who there are, and the tribes. We're going to go through the whole thing. We're going to answer all. Trust me when I say all your questions going to be answered. Because many of you have questions. They all going to be answered. You're going to see yourself in it. I'm telling you, some of the things that you're going to hear may frighten you. Some of the things may scare you. Some of you seeing numbers, and I'm going to say this. Some people, there is a group that see numbers just like we do, and they ain't from the Lord. And there is also a group that's from the Lord. Why? Because Satan is a copycat, and he has his minions, and he has his ministers. But in this revelation, I'm going to pour it out, and I'm going to show you, and you're going to know who they are. You sure are. When I got revelation on how you tell who they are, wow. It was kind of simple. Kind of simple. They're going to be very apparent. You're going to know. There ain't going to be no way they can fool you either. Okay? So, I had to share that. And, like I said, don't miss any of these videos. If you have anything you want to share about a dream, Jill Hurley, I read your comment today. Wow. That's all I got to say. Wow. But y'all stay encouraged. If nobody else encourages you, encourage yourself. Let's try to pray as much as we can. Y'all, I'm talking to myself too. And pray for me as I pray for you. We're going to pray for each other. There's a lot of revelations to be made through this, and I'm telling you, a lot of revelations that's going to blow your mind, because it's just powerful. I mean, y'all, I kid you not. Let me show you this. As I did every time I get ready to do this video. What is that? Oh, screenshots. I'm sorry. I keep coming into, let me show you this. 1:14, right before I started this video. Hold on. There's pictures. Okay, Psalms 44. Look what time it was. 4:44 a.m. this morning. All right. Look at this. 1:44. Before and after doing the video. Crazy. Yeah, I thought I had more. That's a pretty picture, huh? My girls did my hair. Yeah, that's alright. But anyway, and y'all, okay, and my phone was at 44%. So, and I was reading Psalms 44 this morning, and my phone it was 4:44 on my phone. Very interesting. And when I got ready I went in the kitchen, my stove once again said 1:44, and earlier it said 11:44. Y'all, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. But be looking out for the videos, okay? Love you guys. See you next video. Thanks.